All right, looks like we're live. Welcome everyone. This is our announcement stream for the Master of Dungeons Discord server and our Twitter, our Twitch, and all of our social medias. Just to let you know a little bit about Master of Dungeons, our brand. What we're doing is our mission is to kind of share information about D&D for new and older DMs alike. It's going to be to help players and DMs that are new to the game, players and DMs that may be experienced and just want a little bit of advice about stuff. We're also going to be trying to create some engaging content for our Twitch streams. Of course, we do have masterofdungeons.com, which is a work in progress. We got some nice stuff up on there and some more stuff coming this week. You will notice down below, you'll see a bunch of our panels. Right now, the only one that's active should be our Discord. We're going to be filling those in later this week before we have our first official stream. This is our first official stream technically, but the start of our different scheduled programming that we're going to have each week, which we're going to be announcing tonight. That was the whole purpose of our stream this evening. But first, I want to go ahead and introduce our collective. We'll start with me. I'm TM Mitch, aka the Master of Dungeons. Yes, I know that does sound like a bit of a boastful title, but I have been playing D&D and running Dungeons and Dragons as a dungeon master for 40 years this year. Lots of experience. I'm also a professional dungeon master. Last year alone, I ran over probably 100 to 150 paid sessions with players from all walks of life, all ages. So I have a lot of experience dealing with a lot of different types of players and lots of different convention settings, online settings, in-person settings, all the way from the local game store to Gen Con, the big granddaddy of all gaming conventions. I am the brand owner of Master of Dungeons LLC, and I'm also our content manager. I'll be managing all of our content that we put up through different social media platforms, some different blogs and things like that we'll have on masterofdungeons.com. I kind of look at D&D as a shared storytelling experience. I am a player-oriented dungeon master. I've of course, been through the phases of being that villainous dungeon master that pits themselves against the players. I've been that dungeon master that in the past that it just follows the rules. That's all you're there for, is just to be a referee. And as I've played longer and longer I've realized that that's really not getting as much out of the game as you can. And I look at it like the characters are the heroes of the story that we're telling. And that's kind of where my advice in the coming content will be coming from. As I mentioned, I'm the brand owner, the content manager. I do want to introduce you to the other people here on the screen. Unfortunately, Danta Shin's camera is acting up, so hopefully we will have that all fixed by our next stream, which again, we're going to announce here coming up. But first, let's go ahead and introduce, second here, let's introduce our Twitch and YouTube producer, Otter, who was right below me. Otter, introduce yourself.
My name is Otter, as he said. I will be managing our overlays and a lot of our back-end graphics. I have been playing D&D for about 3 years now. Haven't really dipped my toes into any form of DMing, but I'm really enjoying the community, and collective storytelling has been great. I've been enjoying every step of the way.
Bringing us the new player aspect of it, that experience. Hey, a new player might want to know about this. Perfect. We can talk about that. Excellent. So third, we also have our IT and social media manager, which is down over here, right? I think. Mm-hmm. That is Design Lizard. So Design Lizard, go ahead and introduce yourself and a little bit about your experience as a player and a DM. I know you DM locally and stuff too.
Hi, my name's Design Lizard, Dan, whatever's better. I was scared away from D&D in the 90s. A friend of mine went to play the game and came back and said, it's really hard, it's really scary, the DM's mean, and all of the rules are confusing. So I dipped my toe in Vampire the Masquerade. I played a crap ton of Magic in the 90s. Played plenty of other RPGs. Online, I played DDO as soon as it came out and wrote it until it pretty much fizzled to not as many players online. Neverwinter Nights. I played all that, but my first real D&D was 2020, actually just before the pandemic. I play 3.5 with a group of friends, people I know in real life. We play on Discord. I play 5e, a bunch of the virtual D&D weekends. That's where I met Mitch, and a lot of the folks we'll see over in the chat. I do have an in-person 5e game I play with friends around the table about once a month, which is great. Actual dice hitting the table sounds great. Just trying to make up for lost time of all the years from the 90s hiding from D&D. And just last November, I was asked by the town librarian in the small town I'm in to run a learn to play session. So we put together some of the starter adventures. We've got a handful of folks from older than my mom to young middle school kids and everything in between. And we get together once a month and we fiddle our way through missions. So hopefully I can bring some perspective to new D&D DM, as well as give Mitch a whole list of questions that come up at regular sessions that we could address for all you new DMs.
Excellent, excellent. And you will notice that he said crap ton and not the other word, as we do want to try to keep our channel as PG and PG-13 as possible. We will definitely be having content warnings come up when we do have streams, letting people know what's going to be in those streams to kind of warn the viewer if there's going to be any combat, violence, things like that, or anything that might be a little triggering or anything like that. We want to make sure that our viewers are safe as well as our community. And we'll go ahead and introduce our newest addition to our collective, or as we call it, our chimerical collective, is our friend Dantashin, who is going to be working hopefully as our marketing manager. We're going to get him up to speed this week and all of that. But Dantashin, go ahead, and he is one of our other veteran dungeon masters. He's been DMing close to as long as I have. So Dantashin, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thanks for that introduction, Mitch. Yes, I've, like you said, I have been playing almost as long as you have, probably 39 years. As a young 11-year-old, I fell in love with the game. And ever since the Red Box, and from then on, I've been playing D&D off and on as a DM most of the time. I took a break for a while for military service, but I still played while I was even then. I didn't do any DMing, but it's been a fun ride, especially with the resurgence of gaming in the past few years, and especially with online gaming, which it's been great to meet a lot of new people that have embraced the digital platform and have been able to see and play with others from around the world. And I've really enjoyed that for the past 3 years as a player and a DM. And I've been looking forward to meeting new people and playing more games as the game expands and we're able to explore new dungeons.
Yeah, we actually are putting our Monday night game that Dantashin runs for us. He's been running for some of his friends, and a couple, myself and one of my friends have been running through the new Dragonlance, The Shadow of the Dragon Queen, playing that on Monday evenings, which has been pretty fun. But we did take a night off tonight because originally we were planning on, hey, let's go ahead and have our first stream, our announcement stream on February 12th, about 6:30. And then, of course, Design Lizard Dan was kind enough to say, hey, we're forgetting one big thing. There's a big sports ball championship on Sunday night. Should probably switch our stream. And
the season finale.
Yeah, I'm a Colts fan, and I didn't have a horse in the race, so I was literally. So I forgot all about it. But so we went ahead and moved our stream to this Monday evening, and the players in Dantashin's game were kind enough to say, hey, sure, not a problem. So hopefully they might jump in here as we're streaming and watch this announcement show. Again, if you want to join our community, as I mentioned, the panels beneath us here on the Twitch stream, not all of them are active yet. We're going to be working on those in the coming weeks, as well as the website, masterofdungeons.com. We'll be working on those. But right now, the active link down below is our community Discord server. If you want to join our community, get information about the streams, get information about playing D&D. We also have a section on Adventurers League, which is the organized play for Dungeons and Dragons, which I do a lot of. In case you're wondering, I do work with Baldwin Games. That does a lot of the conventions, a lot of the organized play conventions like Gen Con, Origins, Winter Fantasy just happened last weekend, I believe, up in Fort Wayne, Indiana. And there are plans. I'm not going to spoil any of those because I'm sure that they're going to bring those out, but to do a few more conventions all across the country coming up here soon. But yeah, I'm also one of the co-story leads for the D&D Adventures League Dreams of the Red Wizard storyline. So I'll be working on that in addition to putting the content out that we have here. Let me see here. We do have different media resources. If you jump into our Discord server, we do have all of our links for we have a link tree set up. You can go to our Twitter channel, our Instagram channel, our Facebook page, all the different socials that we have set up there. I think we have an Instagram as well. We're going to start here in the next week or two, starting regular schedules for releasing of different announcements, things like that. We'll have polls, things to talk about, allowing the viewers and our community to start participating in, kind of guiding some of the content of the topics of the different shows that we're going to be doing, things along those lines. We do have a Patreon up. Currently, we do not have any tiers set up. But while I'm thinking about it, I do want to thank our 2 patrons that we do have that as soon as it went live, we want to thank them very much. Richard DeBauer and Matt Dunn. Thank you both for that. We are going to have some tiers coming in soon. We're also going to be looking to perhaps maybe instead of doing anything specific for sponsorships like contracts and things like that, we're probably going to allow some of those tiers to be sponsor tiers. That way, if sponsors, if they want to have their company or their group, or if they're a publishing company, anything like that, dice companies, other gaming companies will have sponsorships available on the tiers and Patreon. That way we can have their logos up on our screens during our Twitch streams and things along those lines. We do have plans for a merch store. Again, we've just finished, still getting together, finishing all the business end, all the make sure that we're okay with the IRS and, paying all, making sure we take care of the taxes and stuff before we get the merch store going. But that will be available on our website, masterofdungeons.com, and you will be able to get there from the Twitch channel as well. We'll do some fun, different designs for t-shirts. We're planning on having ball caps, stickers, a bunch of fun stuff up there. That way you can help support us and support the channel so we can keep putting out content.
And once those go live, I'm going to be putting a panel down below where you can actually view all of the merch store items without even having to go to a separate page.
Yeah. So speaking of content, you guys want to do some show reveals? Let's do some show reveals.
Let's do it.
All right. Our first show is going to be a live D&D play game. And I'll let Otter bring up that beautiful title card he created. And it's going to be called Master of Dungeons Presents Keys from the Golden Vault. We're going to be having a live D&D play session here on our Twitch channel. We will be using Roll20 as our VTT. And we will be, of course, playing the brand new adventure book that's coming out next Tuesday, Keys from the Golden Vault. It's a collection of anthology of adventures that can all be played as standalone adventures, but there is, of course, an underlying story that goes through all of these standalone adventures, very similar to Candlekeep Mysteries or Journeys to the Radiant Citadel or Ghosts of Saltmarsh and things along those lines. That way we can also bring in guest players besides the 4 of us that we'll be playing. I will be, of course, be DMing. As I mentioned earlier, Adventurers League, we will be using Adventurers League rules. And our first stream for that, the streams themselves are going to be on Sunday evenings from 7 p.m. Eastern to 10 p.m. Eastern. Our first stream will be this Sunday, February 19th. And we're going to be doing what's called a Session 0. Where we create the characters, so we get the characters' backgrounds. We'll probably generate the backgrounds from Xanathars to give the players a little bit of creative license in how they want to create their characters' backstories. And then we'll also find ways to tie the characters in together as a cohesive party before they begin. And that way we'll be able to start at first level and then play through those adventures. I've a few of our community members and members of my private Discord server have expressed interest in playing. We're probably going to put together a Google form for people that want to apply for some of the shows. We want to bring some of those people in as well. I do have one of my buddies, EB, that does not like playing level 1, tier 1 stuff. So we'll probably bring him in for some adventures during the tier 2 experiences and maybe some of the higher things. But yeah, they're going to be creating the characters, the backgrounds, deciding how to know one another, and go from there. Let me see if there's anything else I have on that stream. And also, yes, all of the streams of the live games, we will be pausing every once in a while. If viewers do have questions, and we definitely want you to invite anyone that you know that's interested in playing Dungeons and Dragons, that might be new to the hobby that want to learn, because we will work on teaching certain things to newer players and newer DMs. Things like terminology. Why do they keep saying AC? What's AC mean? Well, it's armor class, and we'll explain that sometimes. It's not all the time. It's not going to bog down the streams, but obviously we want to get into the story of the Keys from the Golden Vault. And future games, we're probably going to do something similar as the newer products from Wizards of the Coast come out for Dungeons and Dragons. We will try to integrate those into our Sunday live play streams. Anything else anyone wants to add on that?
No, I think that covers everything pretty well.
All right, so then we have our second show during the week. It is going to take place on Tuesday evenings. Starting off, it's going to be from 6 to 7 p.m. It's going to probably stay in that time slot. This one is going to be kind of similar to a Just Chatting show. We will still have it under the tag Dungeons and Dragons. But that show is going to be called Master of Dungeons Presents Dungeons and Deliberations. What that's going to be, again, it's going to be on Tuesdays from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., just about an hour just chatting. The very first stream will be next Tuesday, February 21st, in which I'll go into more depth about my experience with D&D. I can answer questions posted by the stream viewers. Just talking about being a dungeon master, be ready next week to bring some questions about, hey, I had a player in this situation, how would you handle it? We can talk about those types of things. And probably, since it is the first day that it will be available, we'll probably go ahead and talk about some Keys from the Golden Vault as well. Perhaps give you an overview of the new book without necessarily giving away any spoilers for it as well. I know if you have D&D Beyond and you can purchase it, it is available currently right now with early access. So if you do pick it up on your D&D Beyond account, you can actually access the book right now and start reading up on the adventures and such. Let me see. It's just basically going to be, as I mentioned, kind of a just chatting. So bring your questions. I'll talk a little bit more about my different campaigns, my different view on things, and give advice to new DMs. Probably start with some of that, talking about terminology and things like that to help get a dungeon master started, help getting players started as well. And give me a second here. I'm going to take a drink of my Sprite Zero.
Yeah. And I do believe we're in talks of adding a channel into our community server where if you have questions you would like to pose to be talked about during this stream, you can start to add those into the Discord so we have a backlog of things people are interested in hearing about.
Yeah, definitely. And then the third show is a fun little show that's we're going to kind of brand it as a talk show. Initially, it's just going to be talking about certain things that are going on in the industry. No, we probably will not talk about the OGL, as that's been put to bed and put to rest. We don't have to worry about that anymore. But we will talk about different things about that it's trending in D&D. We'll check out the different topics that people are talking about from some different websites, things along those lines. Occasionally, we might have a guest or two, but this show is called Master of Dungeons Presents Tavern Talk at the Shifty Boar.
The good old Shifty Boar.
Oh, yes. Tavern Talks at the Shifty Boar. Again, it's going to be a talk show format, probably me and one other person, posing questions back and forth, similar to like a podcast. But occasionally we will have a guest or two here and there. We're trying to line some of those up if we can. in the coming months to get some industry folks in, people that you might know, you might not know if you're familiar with B&G. Some of them you might know as well. If you're familiar with people in the industry overall, you might see some familiar faces if things go the way we're planning on things going at the moment. Those streams will be on Wednesdays. Their first start time is going to be a little different in the first few weeks. The first couple of weeks on Wednesday nights from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern, as I am finishing up a small homebrew campaign on Wednesdays. I think they have maybe 2 or 3 more sessions at the most. And then after that is finished up, of course, we will announce that change as it approaches, and of course, adjust the scheduling that we'll have on our website, masterofdungeons.com, and here on our panels for the schedule on the Twitch channel. But then eventually they will switch over to 7 p.m. Eastern to 9 p.m. Eastern after that campaign is finished. We've been playing that campaign for almost 3 years, and we don't want to finish it too, just without having it come to a good close. So I told
believe
that
it's
group,
almost 3 years.
yeah, 3 years. Yeah, well, yeah. Now, of course, for that show, what we're going to do is we're planning on have certain tier of our patrons on Patreon will be able to submit show topics like, hey, this week have a show about how you do dungeon crawls, or I mean, we're probably planning on doing that anyway, but or have a talk show about dealing with troublesome players, ways to interact with players that are a little bit troublesome at the table or online, things along those lines. So we'll have certain tiers of patrons. Won't be too high, but something in there that'll allow them to also submit topics for those shows. And of course, the first one, we're going to discuss how we began playing D&D, some of the things a new Dungeon Master would need to know to start getting into the game as well. This is going to be one of our first topics. And then probably have some sort of topic of the day. We'll eventually come up with segments just like you would on a talk show for us to talk about different things, D&D news, things along those lines, for the Tavern Talks at the Shifty Board. We do have a fourth broadcast that we're going to be doing on Thursdays. This is going to be a live video game play. I'm going to be able to play a video game related to Dungeons and Dragons and be able to chat with the viewers about the game, about questions about D&D. We can talk about your sessions that week, your favorite characters, things along those lines. But this is going to be called Master of Dungeons Presents Dungeon Delving. And what we're going to do with that is those streams will be in the afternoon Eastern time. Those streams will be on Thursdays from 1 p.m. Eastern to 3 p.m. Eastern. And with that, I'm going to play games like Baldur's Gate, turn-based games, Baldur's Gate 2, Icewind Dale, other D&D-based video games. We might even do some deep dives back into like the Gold Box games, things along those lines. But that's going to be turn-based, which is going to allow me to chat and interact with the viewers, with our community as we're playing games, and just watch some fun role play or some fun D&D games. And then finally, we will have a fifth and final show of the week. That is going to, Thursdays was from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. This one is going to be Fridays from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Eastern. And it's going to be another live video game play. But this one's going to be called Master of Dungeons Presents Around the Campfire. Because what we're going to do with that is these games will be MMOs. We might play some Neverwinter. To start off, we're going to play Lord of the Rings online. That way, anyone in the community, anyone watching as well, can actually create a character. We're going to try to do free-to-play games. That way you don't have to, there's no paywall to get in. Obviously, if you want to put anything more into what you purchase of the game, we'll make sure that they are free games. And like I said, we're going to start off with Lord of the Rings Online, which is basically the inspiration behind D&D in the first place. And it's a great, fun game. It's been out for a number of years now. I think this May is going to be their 16th year. The game's still just as great as it was. Actually, a little bit better than what it was when it first came out. But as I mentioned, we might play some Neverwinter as well. that way I can actually get some of the viewers and some of the community to help me learn how to play with Neverwinter, as I played Neverwinter Nights, which we might play on the Thursday streams, but never actually played Neverwinter, the D&D MMO. I think I might have played D&D online back in the day, but I'm not even sure. I'm sure it probably is still around. But so that's that game on Fridays is a way to get with the community and play. We can all jump on the same server. I'll let everyone know what server I'm playing on, whichever game we're logged into. Obviously, we'll announce that on our social media, different things. You might pop up on Twitter. You see it on the Facebook page. Hey, for our stream today, we're playing this game and we're going to be on this server. We might even announce that the day before when our announcements come up with our schedule for the week of what we're doing and what the topics are, what we're playing, things like that. Anything else to add? Those were the 5 shows that we're going to be streaming each week. Yes, we do realize it is a little bit ambitious, but hey, go big, I guess, right? Right, guys?
Yeah,
Right.
nice eclectic mix of things, and looking forward
Yep.
to getting that content out to you guys.
And of course, this is all evolving as we go. We are trying to build up the Master of Dungeons community. My private server that we started up has over 200 members. We're in the process of getting everyone migrated over to our community server. I am still going to keep my private server active. We are probably going to have levels of Patreon as well that will give access to that private server. And that's the server where I will run my client games, things along those lines, because I'm still going to be planning on doing my professional DMing. So I'm going to keep that server together, but we're in the process of migrating everyone over to the community server, and we're going to be taking obviously suggestions, like the process of how we're doing stuff. Obviously, it's going to change and evolve as we get more experience with the platform of Twitch and with all of the social media interactions and all the different platforms. Obviously, adding new stuff, perhaps new streams might replace other streams if we're noticing that we're not getting a whole bunch of visitors and viewers at a certain time. We might change some times on there. If we're noticing that people just aren't interested in watching an old man sit around and play Baldur's Gate, that we might change to something else, maybe do some horror or something like that. But we want to try to keep everything as close to Dungeons and Dragons as possible. Just share the love of the game and kind of build a community that started as a private server and try to open it up to more people, be more inclusive, and things of that nature. I think that might be all that we had scheduled for the stream. For at least the introductions. Does anyone have anything else to add, or is there anything else we should touch on before we let everyone get back to their regular scheduled programs on Monday evenings?
I don't know. I think you've covered a lot of material, and it seems pretty straightforward as far as the scheduling. So, if anybody would like to know the times and all the things that you went over, is there a way for the viewers to actually go back and look at the schedule?
Yes, this will obviously, after we're done with the stream, will go up on our Twitch channel that we'll be able to stream for, I believe, a week or two. But then we're also going to take it and upload it to the YouTube cloud so that our YouTube channel will have those. Plus, we will have a schedule on our masterofdungeons.com website, which Design Lizard Dan is going to be taken care of. And then we'll also
in the chat right now.
Pardon?
Link is live in the chat too.
Oh, okay. And then we're going to be also putting up the schedule onto our and our panels here on the Twitch channel in the coming week as well.
Mhm.
So our first stream of all of these different shows will be next Sunday evening from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern. It'll be our session 0 of our running of the keys from the Golden Vault. So what we'll be doing is Otter has never played Adventurers League before. So we're going to be talking about Adventurers League. For those of you that aren't sure what a session 0 is, we're going to be talking about that. And then we'll have Dantashin, we'll have designers, and we'll have Otter making their characters. And of course, as I mentioned, we are playing Adventurers League. So we should have, hopefully this week, some of that Google form up so that players in our community can go ahead and start putting in some applications to be on some of the shows as we play. And we'll take some time, of course, to get their character in on the story and how they fit into it and as we go. So I think that should be all.
I think the only other thing that comes to mind would
Mhm.
be to keep an eye on our Patreon when we do start putting links out there for it. We have a couple really interesting ideas that we'll probably end up putting behind goals on there to start evolving the content we're putting out for you guys.
Yeah, like we were talking about putting some goals on there for right now we're using Discord as our medium to get to Twitch. But Google Hangouts has a great closed captioning, built-in closed captioning. So we might put something like that. We're planning on putting something like that up on our one of the tiers on Patreon, so that we could get that and get the pay per month for Google Hangouts or Google Meets, whatever it's called now, and
I think it's
be
Google
able to
Meets
use-
these days.
yeah, and be able to get their the closed captioning, which we tested the other day, and it's excellent. It even picks up Dungeons and Dragons words like drow and orc and name places, which was really great. So those are types of things we're going to probably put up in the Patreon as well. Also, we are not affiliate yet, and we're hoping to get affiliate as soon as we can. That way we can put some wonderful Twitch points here and there that the streamers, that our viewers can collect. As you collect more, we're going to do fun things that allow you to help out the players during the game, giving advantage, helping them with a saving throw, things along those lines. We got to make sure that they're all Adventurers League legal. That way, we're not stepping out and making the game non-Adventurers League legal, but things that normally a dungeon master could do that could hinder or help the players. Not too much hinder, because we want them, to be heroes. It's stuff that you'll be able to spend those points on, and all of that. So we'll definitely let everyone know on the different socials and on the Discord server when those things come to fruition. All right. So again, I do want to give once again special thanks to our first two patrons, Richard DeBoer and Matt Dunn. Thank you both so much. Every little bit helps for us in this endeavor. I definitely myself have put a lot into this. Otter and Dan have put a lot of hours into it as well. And hopefully it will pay off and you will enjoy everything that we're putting out and all of the shows. Otter's worked a little overtime putting together the different show layouts and everything for the Twitch streams. So for that, thank you. Thank you, brother. Dan has been doing a lot with the website and the social medias as well. Thank you for that as well. And Dantashin is going to be getting into the marketing this week. So we'll take some time to get that working and all of that. So thanks everyone for watching. And I think that will bring us to the end of the stream, unless anyone has anything else. It's a good 40 minutes of content there. That's it. All right. Well, again, thanks everyone for watching. Everyone be safe and happy adventuring. We'll see you on Sunday. Bye, everyone.